Okay, determine the number of solutions. Okay, so in the last class, we kind of talked about this, but we're going to talk about a lot more in this one. Systems of equations. Compare the slopes and the y-intercepts. So we're going to look at each one of them. I'm going to write this over here first. We can either have one solution, we can have no solution, or we can have infinite solutions. Okay, those are the different types of solutions that we can have. Okay, so we're going to look over here. Come on. So on this first one, okay, if they have the same slope but different y-intercepts, it's going to look like this. And that means that you would have no solution. Here, if I have different slopes and different y-intercepts, they're going to meet at one point. Now, I'm going to make this important for you to know. You must say what that point is. You can't just say one solution. You have to actually say what the point is. Over here, if they have the same slope and the same y-intercept, it's the exact same line. So you have infinitely many solutions or infinite solutions. Okay, over here, if they have different slopes and they have the same y-intercept, they're intersecting lines, there's one solution. Okay, the cool thing about that is they intersect at the y-intercept. Okay, and yes, you still have to name what that one solution is. Okay, so right here, I'm going to look at this, see if I can do that. There we go. I'm going to look at this, and I'm going to say this has a slope of -2. This has a slope of 3/4. If I look at those two slopes, they are different slopes. So I'm going to look up here for different slopes. These two deal with different slopes. Then I'm going to look at their y-intercepts. They're different y-intercepts. So that means it's going to be one solution. We're going to have one solution. Okay. Now, this one right here, the slope is the number sitting in front of x. The number in front of x is -1. The slope here is 3. The slopes are different, so that means I have one, oh, that was weird, solution. All this, these two questions we're asking is how many solutions. It didn't say anything about solving it. Okay, it just wants to know one solution, no solutions, or infinitely many. Okay, same thing here. Uh-oh, this one is not in the form y equals mx plus b. So we have to make sure that we get rid of the coefficient of y. In order to get rid of the coefficient of y, I must divide each one of these by the coefficient. I would get y equals 2/3 x plus 5. Okay, so now I have this and this. We have the same slope. We have the same slope of 2/3, but we have a different y-intercept. Okay, that means if I come back up here, if they have the same slope, but they have different y-intercepts, that means it's no solution. So the answer to this one is no solution. That means that they are parallel lines. Okay, we're going to come to this one right here. Okay, the top one, its slope is negative 2/5. This one, we do not have the y by itself. So we need to get the y by itself. So I'm going to add 9 to both sides and get y equals negative 2/5 x plus 9. This slope is negative 2/5. The b value up top is 0. The b value down here is 9. So that means that it's no solution because these two right here are not the same. Okay, so let's go to this next one. Okay, this first one has a slope of 3/4. Oh, but this next one doesn't have it in y equals mx plus b form. So I have to move it and make it into y equals mx plus b form. So I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. I'm going to get negative 4y. Remember, you have to bring that negative down. Equals negative 3x. I divide both sides by the negative 4. Y equals negative divided by a negative is a positive. So I get 3/4 x. Look at that. Those are actually the exact same equations. So the slope here is 3/4. The y-intercept here is 0. The y-intercept here is 0. They are the exact same line. So the answer to this is infinite solutions. Oh, I think this book likes infinitely many solutions. Okay. So this one. Well, I need to get them by themselves. So I'm going to do this first one. Y minus 8 equals 2x. And I'm going to solve it. I need my y by itself. So I'm going to add 8 to both sides and get y equals 2x plus 8. So that means my slope is 2. My y-intercept is 8. Then I'm going to take 2y equals 16 plus 4x, and I'm going to solve. Divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. Get y equals 8 plus 2x. My slope is 2. My y-intercept is 8. Let's compare. They're exactly the same. So this is infinitely many solutions. Okay. So I look at this. It says a system of equations consists of two lines. One line passes through 0, 4 and 3, 2. The other line passes through 3, negative 3 and 9, negative 7. So determine whether the line through the first pair of points intersects the line through the second pair of points. So I need to plug it into the formula. So I'm going to do 2 minus 4 over 3 minus 0. Oh, okay. Just needed to make sure. So now I've got negative 2 over 3. Okay, so this one, I have negative 7 minus negative 3. I have 9 minus 3. That turns to a plus sign. So it gives me negative 4 over 6. So that's negative 2/3. Okay, they do have the exact same slopes. Okay, so if they have the same slope, it's one of two things. They're either going to be parallel lines or they're going to be the same line. So now we have to figure out if they're going to be parallel or the same. So now we have to find the y-intercept. So I have this point right here, and that tells me for the first one, for the first set, that my y-intercept is 4. So I don't have to do anything with that one. I need to find the y-intercept for these 2 points. So I know that my slope is negative 2/3. I'm going to pick, they've decided that we're going to pick this point right here. So I'm going to replace y with negative 3. I'm going to replace x with 3. Now I'm going to come over here because some of you still are not fraction friends. Okay, so I multiply straight across, I get negative 6. Multiply straight across, I get 3. So, sorry, negative 6 divided by 3 is going to be negative 2. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides, and I get negative 1. Okay, so this intercept, this b was negative 1. This b is 4. They are not the same, so that means the lines that are parallel. So that means that this is no solution. The lines are parallel, so it's no solution. So we're going to do the same thing down here. So I've got the point 0.6 and the point 2.2. So the very first thing I need to do is find the slope for this. So I subtract my x values. I subtract my y values. So I get 2 minus 6. I subtract my x values, 2 minus 0. When I simplify this, I get negative 4 over 2, which means my slope is negative 2. My b value, because this right here has my x value is 0, that means my b value is 6. Okay, so that's it for that one. Now I need to do it for this other set. So my other set is negative 1, negative 8, and 3/4. So I'm going to find the slope with these two. I subtract my y values, 4 minus negative 8, and 3 minus negative 1. Remember that this turns to plus, this turns to plus. So it'll get me 12 over 4. So my slope here is 3. Now, great, it's 3, but neither one of those points is the y-intercept, so I need to find the y-intercept. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the equation y equals mx plus b. I'm going to pick this one right here. Why? Because it has positive numbers. And I'm going to plug in y. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Did not mean to have a highlighter. I'm going to replace y with 4. My slope is 3. My x is 3 plus b. So 4 equals 9 plus b. Subtract my 9. I get negative 5 is equal to b. So my slope is negative 5. So if I compare these right here, my slopes are different. Does the line through the first pair of points affect the line through the second pair of points? The fact that they don't have the same slope, that means that there's one solution. Now it's not asking us for that solution yet, so I don't have to do that part quite yet, but it will. I believe. Okay, so on this assignment, you're not even finding where they intersect. All you're finding out is, do they have one solution, no solutions, or infinite solutions? Okay, so 2 friends are hiking along linear paths at a state park. On the map of the trails, Grayson's path are the coordinates I'm going to write it over here, 2, 3, and 0, 5. Okay? Then Xander's path are through the coordinates 1, 1, and 0, negative 1. So 1, 1, and 0, negative 1. Okay? Do the friends pass through the common coordinate? Hike along. So do they have the same slope, different slopes? We have to figure that part out first. So let's find out if they have the same slope. M equals 5 minus 3 over 0 minus 2. So my slope for this one is 2 over negative 2, which is negative 1. Then let's look down here for the slope for this one. Negative 1 minus 1 over 0 minus 1. So my slope for this one is negative 2 over negative 1, which will be 2. The fact that they have two different slopes, that means that they will have a common coordinate at some point.